Hello, everyone. Larry Sorensen here. And today we have another Autumn Athletes Not Done Yet Spotlight. We are sitting down and connecting with Nils Antonio. Nils, thank you so much for participating. We look forward to finding out what makes you an Autumn athlete that's not done yet.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you for the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's kick this thing off with your bio basics. Tell us about yourself.
Born in London, England. Came over here in 79 and graduated high school in 81. Went to a local D3 college here. Me and my brother and myself. He went to the University of Akron on a soccer scholarship. Was an All-American in high school, and I forego a track scholarship to run in a D3 school because I was a shy person back then and wasn't into the big colleges and the big college scene in the classroom. So, but I to this day still think it was the best move I ever had. Currently married. This is my second marriage, but my first marriage, I have 6 kids, 4 boys and 3 girls. Had another kid with my second wife. She is now 6, just finished her kindergarten year. Oldest is 30, then there's 26, 23, 21. 18 tomorrow, my oldest daughter, and 16, who just got a driver's license.
Did anybody inspire you in your early years?
Oh, my goodness. It started with my cousin. Her name is Lorna Booth. She is an MBE athlete for Great Britain, Commonwealth champion back then in 72, 2-time Olympian for Great Britain. One of those, actually 3 times. One of those was the boycott in Russia, but Great Britain went. Yeah, she was. My mother was like a second mom to her, and her just coming over because the track that she trained at was right down the street from us, and she would come over and just be exhausted. So always in the back of my mind before I made the trip to the United States was I wanted to be an Olympian. Had no idea what it entailed to be, but yeah, she inspired me so much. Until this day, she still does because she's still coaching and training athletes.
So tell us about your athletic history.
My athletic history, wow. I was basically a footballer. When I came to the States, got pushed into playing soccer for the high school, and my brother ended up being real standouts. Well, it was a no-brainer. We grew up with balls on our feet in England. And then another mentor of mine, the cross-country coach at the high school, came to a soccer game and literally said, I just watched you run for 90 minutes. You ever thought about running track? And I said, sure, I'd give it a try. Really never got into distance running. And never forget the first day I went out for a run with 2 of the seniors on the team, Brian Moorhead and Mike Doherty. And we went out for a run and we're just chatting away. And then by the time we got back, they goes, do you have any idea how far you just ran? I said, no, I had not a clue. I said, you just ran 8 miles. I goes, what? So that was the beginning of my running career. Found success very quickly. I was a sponge. Whatever the coach told me to do, I did. And at that point in time, Coach Nixon was ahead of his time in his training with us. Always consistently ranked top 5 schools in cross country in the state for the years I was there and years leading up before I was there. And then I was a miler, 800 miler and 2 miler in high school and qualified for the state championships in the 2 mile. Back then in 81, that's when I graduated high school and then went to BW. Ran the 3,000 meter steeplechase. That was interesting because I was so into the steeplechase because I had tendonitis of the knee during indoor season, so I couldn't run indoors. Coach says, I've got an event for you that will get you in shape real quick. And threw me in the 3,000 meter steeple, and my freshman year qualified for nationals. So it stuck with me for my running career in college, and also he threw me in the 5,000s, and so yeah, I'd steeple Friday night and run the 5 the next day at conference championships. After college, during that time, both my high school and college coach passed away right after, both of them right after I graduated, which was sad. But I took a fifth year, and my college coach, then college coach that took over, ended up coaching me, and Coach Tarasky ended up coaching me to the Olympics. He recently passed away too, going on his second year that he passed away. So that is the introduction of my athletic career.
So tell us a little bit about the Olympics.
Absolutely surreal. I had just missed going, I represented Jamaica. I just missed going in 92. I needed to run a sub 14 5K and ended up running 14:01. That barely missed me going. So, Jamaica, their governing body is all about winning, and they're not going to take somebody that's not going to medal. So I had to regroup and say, okay, I've got another 4 years to try and make 96. That year leading up to the games, that 95 year, I represented Jamaica in the World Cross Country Championships in South Africa. And I got to see everybody that I had dreamt and watched on TV, and I was now racing against them. So that was absolutely crazy. I mean, you think of Kenenisa Bekele, Ali David Selassie, we all sitting down talking, just running, just regular guys. And it was just mind blowing that I was sitting there in gobstock looking at these guys saying, these guys are just going to blow me away tomorrow. But I'm sitting there having dinner with them like it was nothing. The average American has no idea about track and field and what these guys are treated like. We had a police escort everywhere we went when we was in South Africa, and bodyguards when we were walking around visiting, and I was like treated like a rock star. I qualified. I still live in Ohio. Actually, when I ran in the Olympics in Atlanta, I was living down there, and I'd moved my family down there. But I qualified in the marathon in Columbus, Ohio, which to this day I still run that marathon because it's near and dear to my heart. So I needed to run 2:25, and I ran 2:24, which to this day is still my PR. And sent that paperwork in to the Jamaican authorities federation to see if I could make the team. Now, this was October of 95 that I had qualified. I'd run the qualifying standard, and I found out I had made the team 2 weeks before opening ceremony.
Amazing.
They even had me fly down for the Jamaican trials to run the 10K to see if it was worth them sending me to the Jamaican to represent Jamaica in the marathon. Now, I'd run the qualifier, and if you run the qualifier, and I think it was the B standard that I'd ran, that you only needed one athlete to represent the country, for the qualifier. But they still was having a dog and pony show for me to show that I was capable of doing it. So, needless to say, Jamaican national champion in 96 in the 10K. Not a blazing time, but the following week I was scheduled to run the Peachtree Road Race 10K, July 4th day. So literally a week later, I found out the day I flew back from Jamaica, I found out I'd qualified, and it was 2 weeks before opening ceremony.
Let's fast forward to your current training regimen right now at the age of 60.
On a good week, I average 50 miles. On a mediocre week, it's like 35. I get up before work, which is like 4 o'clock, and try and get out the door by 4:30 in the morning. I never stretched before I went running back in the day when I was younger, and I just packed my shoes on and went out the door. But now I've got to fire everything up before I step out the door. So, that 30 minutes is used pretty productively to make sure that when I step out the door, nothing's going to give or hurt. I've been very, very fortunate and very lucky that I have not suffered a major injury where it's taken me out for a while. I've had some nagging pains, and I'm very good at listening to my body. but nothing that's really taken me out. So I've been very blessed on that point. Currently, this Saturday, I have a half marathon that I'm running as I get ready for the short stuff this summer. I have a road race mile that we have up here called the Guardian Mile, which they actually bring in some studs for that. A few 2 mile track races, and then in the fall, October, the Columbus Marathon. Well, September, I have a half marathon before the Columbus Marathon in October. My training is all long, not long stuff, but relatively long. My favorite workout is threshold tempo runs. I love repeat Ks where either I'm doing a straight 5K at threshold pace or I'm breaking it up with a minute rest and doing five of those. And then it's usually 800s, and then I'll step down to some real leg speed and do some 400s. But it's usually real easy days, long days on Sundays, double digits, 10 to 13 miles. And then leading up to the marathon, I'll get up to 25.
So tell us a little bit about your approach to diet and nutrition.
You want to know the truth?
Sure.
I don't have one. I don't have one. And I guess because it's been such a long lifestyle for me, it hasn't changed. I've cut back the red meat, and I've cut back the chicken, so I don't eat as much of the food, the meat and protein that I used to do, and I've substituted with more of supplements with protein, and now trying to go more of the not all vegan, but more the vegetarian area to help my body recover quicker.
So do you have a favorite cheat meal or dessert that you...
Ice cream.
What flavor?
Mint chocolate chip.
Tell us a little bit about some plans for this summer. Do you have any specific goals in mind for this summer or fall that you're chasing?
Well, last fall I ran 3:08 marathon in Columbus. So then this fall I'm looking at running under 3 hours as a 60-year-old. That's a good indicator of still being able to hang in there, because I know when everybody starts running a marathon, that to run under 3 hours is like the big thing. But as you get older, to run under 3 hours, it's even a bigger thing. So that's the goal. Trying to run 1:25 this Saturday in the half, and then that really tells you where my fitness level is. Some of my challenges with myself is going out too hard and fading. And what I tell my kids is when they run is to practice like they race and race like they practice. So I've now been practicing picking it up the last half of the workout, then instead of fading the last half of the workout. And we'll see how this goes Saturday.
So it seems like you're pretty just self-motivated by your lifestyle, but I got to ask, is there anything specific that motivates you to keep going today?
My kids. Yeah. I've got one, Zachary. He's actually heading back to school to work on his master's in exercise science. He wants to do what the old man did and go to the Olympics. He was a 400-meter long jumper, and his junior year, I've been telling him this forever, but his junior year, he switched to the 800, now using that leg speed to go further. Because when I used to coach him back in middle school, he was the one kid that did distance because everybody else became sprinters. They didn't want to run the mile in middle school. Everybody wanted to do the 100 and the 200. And he gets to high school and he becomes a 400-meter runner and not the 800-meter runner I thought he was going to be. But I keep going because of those guys. Those guys see me go through this day in, day out, and they keep me motivated. They keep me driven. They keep finding all the new technology to give me, like a scraper, a massage gun, a teens equipment to fire off my muscles to keep me recovering. I was like, you guys just want to keep me going forever. But yeah, those guys drive me. And my wife, she is she's absolutely phenomenal in how she supports me. And one of the reasons why I do it early in the morning that I do, so when I get home from work, or today's not one of those special days I work from home, that I get to spend time with her and 6-year-old. You know, even on the weekends, I try and get it out of the way. So when I get home, I get a little quick nap in and make sure I'm recouped so I can spend time with them.
Tell us what, if anything, is your secret sauce?
I've been a big component of supplements, and then YouTube. Oh my goodness, YouTube is a phenomenal piece of machinery. I found a way to make my own endurance drink by buying bulk fructose and maltodextrin to mix that up and be able to drink that mix it with some Hawaiian punch, fruit punch flavor to give it some taste. And I've found that is the sauce that keeps me going and helped me recover. I am also supplement side with Amway. They make the Nutrilite products of vitamins and vegan protein.
So, Nils, I really appreciate you connecting with us, letting us know what makes you an Autumn athlete that's not done yet. I know your story is going to inspire folks. It's not every day we get to talk to Olympians, and that's pretty cool. So really appreciate that. I'm just going to give you the floor for a minute to give us any of your final thoughts.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate this platform. People keep telling me it's just a number, and I've got a lot of friends that look at me and say, Nils, you have not aged. You still look the same as you did 30 years ago, except for no hair. Because I used to have a big old afro. But I think once you've developed a lifestyle, it's really easy to keep. And I've generated a lifestyle and a spirituality that just keeps me going. I've been told I'm infectious. I'm good to be around, and I think it's because I have this running that keeps me going. My kids think I'm famous because everywhere we go, we run into, the running community, as big as it is, it's really small. And everybody sees somebody, they see somebody that knows me. And especially when them running track themselves, run into somebody and they ask them, are you related to Nils Antonio? And they say, yeah. So we'll tell you that I said hi. And I had my 60th birthday party and I had a lot of friends there, and they just all told them just what a great person I was as a kid and as an adult. And I'm very, very blessed to say that I have some phenomenal kids. I really, really do. And they drive me to keep me going. So thanks again for your time.
Nils Antonio, another inspirational Autumn athlete that's definitely not done yet. Please remember to support the channel, like, subscribe, and ding that bell for notifications. And we're going to see you next time. Thanks again, Nils.
All right. Thank you.